We are Polyknight Games, and we're making InnerSpace on Kickstarter, where you're at.
Ooh.
Well, a long time ago, Nick and I tried making games, and they were a little too dumb and a little too quirky. So none of that really worked out after a few tries, but we did do a lot of game jams together. So then along the process came Game Lab, which is a project class at UTD, and Steve and I worked together on those. And then after Castor and Polix, which was our first project, and then after our second one, which is where we actually had all 4 of us, or all 6 of us, so 6 out of 7 of us were actually on Shroud. Towards the end of that, that Steve and I sat down and said, hey, let's make indie games. We want to make games together. We've enjoyed working together so far. So from there, we just sort of kept adding people, and it sort of wound up being about half the team from Shroud, really. So keeping it as small as possible, while adding everyone that we needed. So that's how I think we came about, really. We are making InnerSpace, which is an exploration flying game for Windows, Mac, and Linux. It takes place inside of an inverted sphere, where what you would think is air for a planet is actually water and dirt, and then what is normally dirt and a core for Earth is actually air. So you have this little pocket of air where you fly around and are free to explore. Gravity pulls outwards, so like the center of this bubble is where gravity actually pushes out from.
And the problem that you have with most, I guess, flying games is that they don't allow you to be very agile, right? So we have this conundrum where we take an exploration-based game and put it with mechanics that aren't traditionally exploration-based. And so how do we solve this, right? And so the solution that we had to this problem ultimately was that we created this drifting mechanic.
You keep going in the same direction that you're going, but you can kind of pivot the plane in any direction you want. And then as soon as you release that button, you then get a boost and you start flying in that direction. So you can kind of make like 90-degree, like quick, judgments. Like you can go straight, then like turn 90 degrees. And then also the plane can dive underwater.
One of the coolest parts about this game to me is kind of the dichotomy between flying and then being underwater. We really are emphasizing water a lot in this game. Since you're surrounded by water, there's water in there, and the fact that you can dive underwater, so you kind of create these 2 separate spaces in which you can play. So yes, it's a flying game in which you can fly, but then you can also go underwater and explore an entire new area as well, which I think creates some pretty cool gameplay.
The thing that we're ultimately able to achieve with this is that we can create a really interesting space to explore, a space that has tight turns and nooks and crannies and crevices where we can hide interesting parts or put interesting narrative elements or have really awe-inspiring visuals and things like that, right? And we combine this with the ability to let you travel all around this place, so we get this immense sense of scale. So then it just becomes our job to make the space as interesting and as worth exploring as possible.
We're taking InnerSpace to Kickstarter, first and foremost because we need software to make a game commercially. We've been using university software so far, but we can't use that for commercial release. But also, a step further than that, we've even been trying our best to reduce software cost. So these guys have actually learned Blender, which is free 3D modeling software, versus Maya, which is what you guys are usually used to, which is very expensive.
$4,000 expensive for one.
So not only do we need it for software, but we've actually tried very hard to reduce the cost of software so that this price is even lower.
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of other talent who's working on this game with us right now who are currently working for free, but they're college grads, recent college grads, and just friends that we'd like to be able to make an official part of the team and like to be able to pay. So even for us as like the owners of the company, we recognize like it should not be for us and about us. It should be about the game and trying to do everything that we can to make sure that we can create the best version of the game possible.
We've made fully 3D games before, completely for free. Like it's you can go to our website, you can actually download Shroud, you can download Scarecrow Fire Hoedown, which are 2 of the games we've made previously. And so we have the skill set to do it, and we have the ability to make it in the amount of time. We want to take it to the next level. That's one of our major motivations for taking it to Kickstarter. Is we're done making like student projects and stuff like that. We're ready to make games for people. So.
For Kickstarter, we're asking for $25,000, which will help cover software cost, and then also some of the additional people we'd like to bring in, along with things like server solutions to be able to back up our software to make sure we don't lose any progress. We already have our own computers that we're working off of, so we won't be building anything personal that we'll be walking away with this from. All of this is literally just being pumped directly into the game to make sure that we walk away with a better product.
And anything that we make beyond our initial goal, like that's just going, any of our stretch goals, all of that is going back into the game. It'll be things like possibly trying to add Oculus Rift support, doing any other really cool, neat things that we could do for the game, or adding to the team. None of that, again, will go into our pockets at all.
A bit of the money that is set aside in that $25,000 is accounting for the fact that Kickstarter does take a slice, PayPal takes a slice, the government takes a slice, taxes, we have to file those. So a bit of the budget is actually accounting for that, but we also are making sure that we have those thought through so that we don't ask for 25 and then realize we need 30. Please give to our Kickstarter. We have an early bird specials where you can get the game for $10, but then beyond that you can also get the game for $15. And 15 is how much we'll be asking for at Steam. So if you get the early bird special, you're actually getting the game cheaper than you'll get it later on. And then for a bit more, you can also get a physical copy of the game. You can get even a physical soundtrack a bit higher than that. But give it whatever price is right for you. And thank you for helping us out and helping us make our dreams come true.
I'm Eric.
I'm Chris. I'm Nick.
I'm Tyler.
I'm Jeff.
I'm Steve.
And we're Polyknight Games. Thank you for funding us, hopefully if you do. We look forward to making this game. We really love it, and we hope you like it too. So thank you.